Let me start again. All right. Thank you, everyone, for attending this regular Board of Education meeting of September 25th, 2023. I'm going to call this meeting to order. This meeting of the Denville Township Board of Education is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of this meeting was provided to the Daily Record and/or the Star Ledger of Morris County, has been delivered to the Township Clerk, and has been posted on the bulletin board of the Board of Education office and at each of the school districts in the school buildings in the district. Sorry. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yep. Okay. So, Mike, we're going to proceed from this point. I just read the opening statement, and Damaris is going to call the roll.
Mr. Anderson? Perfect. Mrs. Aidelis?
Present.
Dr. Arunajitasan? Dr. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Kim?
Here.
Mr. Cass?
Here.
Mr. Capello?
Here. Okay. We do not have a need for an executive session, the first executive session, so we'll move to the Pledge of Allegiance. So before we move into the special presentation, Dr. Forte is unable to be with us tonight. Mr. Anderson is connecting remotely. That was the technical issues we were working out. And Dr. Arunajitasan is traveling, so he's also unable to make it this evening. I believe, Dr. Cullis, you're doing the duties tonight? Okay. Whatever your choice.
Okay, the back to school nights went very well. The buildings looked great and there was high energy. Valley View Athletics has started. Our first matches and games are this week. So cross country is home September 28th. Boys soccer is home September 26th and girls soccer is home September 28th. Valley View clubs started and have pretty good participation so far, but there is still time to sign up if students are interested in 6th through 8th grade clubs. Educational Connections will be providing a free virtual parent training on how to support your 5th through 8th graders' study skills. This will take place on Thursday, October 12th at 7 p.m. Please see the Friday folder to register. You also may receive a message through your email from your school principal. The 2023 and 24 student assessment calendar can be found on the front page of our website, so you can look there to see which dates our COGATs and our NJSLA tests are going to be for the year. And this concludes both the superintendent and assistant superintendent's reports.
Great, thank you very much. Damaris, would you'll do yours, and then we'll move to the presentation.
All right. I have great news. We finally received the last payment in reference to the Clean Energy Act grant with the Valley View HVAC project. The total amount received by the Federal Clean Energy Act was $469,000. We finally received that a couple of weeks ago. And in reference to the Lakeview HVAC project, we are moving along, and we also received the first payment from the Clean Energy Act in the amount of $52,000. The vendors were there today and addressing the panels for the electrical upgrade, and that is moving along smoothly. The last note is Pace School update. Genesis and Pace Schools are finally connecting, synchronizing together, and the parents are able to submit the milk applications and payments as well as the Chromebooks insurance payment.
That's great, thank you. Thank you for working through. I know we had some issues there. Before we move on to the presentation, does any board members have any questions about any of the presentations that have been made so far? Okay, all right. Okay. I guess so, yeah, I guess we're ready. Well, that was awesome. And I probably should have led off with, that was the video from our convocation, which is an annual tradition we've been doing in Denville for the last few years. It's a great way to bring all the staff together. This one was particularly, I think, a great team-building exercise. Dr. Cullis and Dr. Forte mixed up the agenda a little bit, did a little different, but I think everybody had a great time, and it was great to see everybody back together. So thank you for that. Okay, if there's nothing else, we're going to open up for our first public comment section of the evening. The rules and procedures are in the agenda, item 2. Anyone who would like to make a statement can either in the chamber approach and announce their name and address for the record, or online unmute themselves and be recognized. So I will open up for the first public comment section of the evening at 7:40 p.m.
I don't see anyone online other than Mike.
Okay, thank you. All right. Give it a moment. We're going to close this first public comment section at 7:41 p.m. and move on to the next piece of our agenda. First item is old business action to be taken. Mr. Kim, would you move us through these items tonight?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I'd like to motion tonight that we approve section A, B, and C under old business. Section A is to approve the reports from August 2023, the treasurer of school monies and the board secretary. Under B, the education reports, which I see none. And under C, the minutes for the work and regular session and executive session for August 21st.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Thank you, Mr. Cass. Any comments or questions on these items? Okay. All right. Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Adelis,
Yes.
Dr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Kim,
Yes.
Mr. Cass,
Yes.
Mr. Capel.
Yes. Thank you. Moving on to new business action to be taken. We have personnel. Dr. Moore, will you move us through these items, please?
Sure. I'd like to move the following resolutions under personnel for approval. Under item number 1, we have 2 non-certified nurses for new hires. PM bus aide is a new hire. School secretary and an instructional aide for extra hour coverage, and an instructional aide for meet and greet on Tuesday, 8/29/23, and then several teachers and coordinators for running the after-school enrichment classes this year, and several teachers and an instructional aide for home instruction for 23-24 school year, and several instructional aides, teachers, behaviorists, speech therapists, occupational therapists, for the ABA program collaboration, teacher for the instructional aid for book audit for this year, a teacher to replace an employee for the improvement panel, and another one to replace an employee for the Sustainable New Jersey team. And then on the addendum, we have a special education teacher hire. And then under number 2, we have 3 leave of absences. Number 3 is a leave of absence. Number 4 is some students from MK and MH coming to present a unit on babysitting for the 7th and 8th graders. And number 5 is a substitute teacher and substitute AM bus aide and lunch aide.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. Thank you, Mr. Kim.
I just wanted to make a note that on the two, our nurses are RNs, they are certified nurses. They are not school certificated nurses, but they are RNs.
So do we need to make a
Thank you
correction
for-
on that?
Do we need to clarify that in the record, Damaris?
Normally, no, we do not, because their certified is the educational certification that they do not have.
Okay.
And we only need one per district.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Question just is, do we need to revise it on here?
No, we do not.
Okay, comments, questions on any of those items? All right, if we are all good, roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Adelis,
Yes.
Dr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Kim,
Yes.
Mr. Cass,
Yes.
Mr. Capello.
Yes. Okay, moving on to instruction and program. Mr. Anderson, if it's okay with you, I think it might be a little difficult for you to do this remotely. If you don't mind, I'll go ahead and move it.
Sure.
All right. If there are no objections under instruction and program, I would like to move item 1, workshop and expenses. They include state-of-the-art literacy instruction, the NJPSA Fall Conference for several instructors to attend, also Character.org National Conference, as well as to virtually attend for some of our staff the Zones of Regulation Comprehensive Training. Item 2 is to approve Heather Glogolich to present Valley View students on October 2nd, Be the Change. Number 3 is to approve the attached plan for the Denville Enrichment Program for 23-24. Item number 4, to approve the Morris Arts World Dance Residency at Riverview School for grade 2 for the 23-24 school year, funded by the William Davenport PTA. Number 5 is to approve the submission and acceptance of New Jersey Learning Acceleration Program High Impact Tutoring Grant to NJDOE for consideration, and that is to provide tutoring to math grades 3 through 5 in the amount of $115,000. And item 6 is to approve the classroom use of appliances, refrigerator, coffee maker, and for the commodity-based life skills program at Valley View for the 23-24 school year.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Cass.
We will find out on October 11th if we get the grant for the tutoring.
Great.
And then the program would start really quickly, November 1st.
Dino, can I ask a quick question?
Go ahead, Mike.
Dr. Cullen, can you just tell us a little bit about item number 2? Is that, is she doing it no cost for the district, or what's the story behind that?
Yes, no cost for the district, going to come and present. It's really on choosing wisely who you hang out with and how you can influence your social circle to make good choices.
Excellent. Thank you. She's I know a little bit about Heather. I think she's a local Denville family, and I know she speaks nationally, so I appreciate her donation for her time.
Thank you, Mike. Also want to call out the PTA for their donation for the World Dance Residency. The appliances that we're approving in number 6, Dr. Cullis, are those something we purchased or were they donated by any, or where did those come from, I guess?
I can answer that. The district purchased those appliances, and they are being utilized for the special ed classes.
Great. I just didn't want to miss a donation if we had gotten them from someone. Thank you. All right, if there's nothing else, roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Adelis?
Yes.
Dr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Kim?
Yes.
Mr. Cass?
Yes.
Mr. Capello?
Yes. Okay, moving on to policy revisions. Mrs. Adelis, would I ask you to move these through second reading and adoption?
Sure. So I move to approve the following resolutions under policy revisions. Just one, be it resolved that the board adopt the following policies. We have 3, the school threat assessment teams for second reading adoption, and sick leave, the new Sick Leave Act.
Second.
Great, thank you, Ms. Adelis, thank you, Mr. Kim. Okay. All right, any comments, questions? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Adelis?
Yes.
Dr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Kim?
Yes.
Mr. Cass?
Yes.
Mr. Capello?
Yes. Okay, moving on to finance. Mr. Kim, can you move us through these tonight, please?
Sure. I motion that we approve, number 1, the check listed in the agenda, or the checks, excuse me. Number 2, to accept a donation from Lakeview PTA for a drone camera valued at $1,000. Number 3, to accept the donation of 15 boxes of school supplies from Denville Social Services. Number 4, to accept the donation of 20 books donated by Randolph House to be utilized as resources for teachers across all grade levels in Lakeview. Number 5, to accept a donation of $10,000 from Denville Township Social Services to help defray the cost of providing free lunch to students in the district. Number 6, to approve the addendum to the agreement with Tri-County Behavioral Care to provide school clearance and substance evaluation treatment assessments. Number 7, to approve CVS in Denville to provide optional vaccine clinics or clinic for the Denville district staff at no cost to the district. Number 8, to approve the attached settlement contract for the student listed in the agenda. Number 9, to approve out-of-district placements per student's IEPs as listed in the agenda. And number 10, to approve Dr. Forte, Mr. Capello, Mr. Anderson, Mrs. Zidelis, Dr. Moore, myself, and Mr. Marinelli to attend the New Jersey School Board Workshop and Expo in Atlantic City.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Thank you, Mr. Cass. Damaris, I didn't pick up on this before, but are we going to have an issue tonight?
No, we know. I'll check with Charlene, and we can adopt the doctor necessity, similar to last year.
Okay,
We can abstain.
so you can
You can
abstain,
vote.
we can abstain?
Correct.
Yep, okay, perfect. So is everyone clear on that? We can, anybody, yeah, we can abstain and that'll work out. Sorry, any other comments or questions on that or any other items?
I just have a question on number 7. Is it flu, COVID? What is the optional vaccine?
It's flu. We do this annually.
Going back to resolution number 10, can we approve the resolution but abstain ourselves from that resolution? Or how do we vote on number 10?
Abstain, please.
Completely from resolution number 10?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, if there's nothing else, roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes on items number 1 through 9 and abstain on number 10.
Mrs. Adelis?
Yes on numbers 1 through 9 and abstain on 10.
Dr. Moore?
Yes on items 1 through 9 and abstaining on number 10.
Mr. Kim,
Yes on 1 through 9, abstaining from number 10.
Mr. Cass,
No on the milk fund, yes on everything else.
Mr. Capello.
Yes on items 1 through 9, abstain on item 10. Okay, great, thank you. Mr. Cass, we're going to throw it over to you for operations.
Be glad to. Nothing on the transportation tonight. Number 2, building and grounds. I'm going to ask the board to approve the attached revised use of facilities form and fees of $40 per hour for Saturdays and $55 per hour for Sundays for the upcoming school year 2024-2025. Item 2.2 is to approve the proposal from X4 Sales and Services, LLC, for a stainless steel dump body for the 2015 maintenance truck in the amount of $18,744.20, funded with the Maintenance Reserve Fund. Item 2.3 is to approve the attached proposal from Roxbury Auto Wreckers for an aluminum tube top for the repair of the Lakeview trailer in the amount of $7,535, and also funded with the Maintenance Reserve Fund.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Cass. Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Damaris, I had a question about the maintenance truck. It doesn't look like there's a make or, it's just the body, the dump body of the truck?
It's the flat portion of the back of the dump truck. We used it during the winter time to put out salt for the snow, and it's very rusted right now. So it's the back portion.
So we're not voting on purchasing a truck, but an actual piece of equipment that will be mounted on the truck.
Replacing the bed of the truck, yes. We're not buying a truck, we're just replacing the back portion.
I see, thank you.
Okay. All right, if nothing else, roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Adelis,
Yes.
Dr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Kim,
Yes.
Mr. Cass,
Yes.
Mr. Capello.
Yes. Okay, we are at good of the cause. We covered committee reports last meeting in the work session, but if there's anything else you'd like to discuss about committees, correspondence, or discussion items, floor is open.
I just want to take an opportunity to congratulate the Denville Sustainability Committee for reaching and being awarded a silver level for the entire town. Don Tidy and Claudia Ionescu are the chairs of that committee, and they do excellent work. They are looking to work with the school more, so hopefully we can get that off the ground and maybe get Denville to a gold level at some point. But I just want to say congratulations to the Denville Sustainability Committee.
That's great. I know the town Green Committee and our Green Committee have collaborated on some things in the past, right? I mean, I know we've done a few things, but yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And I know we've had some change, even tonight. I know we've had some changeover in the personnel on our committees, so.
Dino, if I may?
Yeah.
I noticed that special presentations, November 20th, Frances has come in to provide us with that HIB board training, which I'm really looking forward to. I was present during the last one. I did learn a lot, but having a refresher seems really, what's the word I'm looking for? Timely? Yep. The audit presentation, that's the budget or last year's financial presentation. That's going to be in the October 30th meeting?
That is correct, the 22-23 order presentation, and that will be the draft. We still do not have the pension numbers similar to last year. And again, that number is not impactful to the financial statement.
Do you have any sense as to how it's looking at this point, or we'll just have to wait and see?
So right now, I'm still working, providing still some open items to the auditors, but it's looking, we are in a good financial situation right now. We are able to put back most of the funds that we withdrew from the maintenance and capital reserves.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
I also wanted to mention during the finance section, which I failed to do, is that I'm really proud of the township. I mean, the social services is providing 2 different types of donations, which is amazing. And just the community that we have, the relationships that we have with every it seems like every community group in town is truly amazing, and definitely proud of that, so and grateful. So I wanted to express my thanks to anyone and everyone who's donating. And I guess the final question I had, in preparation of our next classroom space considerations meeting, Dr. Cullis, I understand you're going to be at that next meeting, which I'm looking forward to. One of the questions that I was going to ask Dr. Forte to help us with was a sort of a total number of classrooms across the entire district. If we can get the total number of classrooms, whether it's being used for art and music, or whether it needs to be renovated, like the second floor at Riverview Annex, it seems I struggle to find an exact number in each school, and I know that that's because sometimes he's got or you have to be flexible with how that space might be used. But if we were asked the question, how many classrooms could we fit in every single school, I'd like to have that as part of our research in preparation for our sort of like final presentation. So, or at least have that ready for the next meeting. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll tack on to that too. Just using the 4 classrooms across the street there, that'd be 4 new teachers, 4 new salaries and benefits. So that's something that has to go into the formula too. It's the long-term part of the cost, besides any renovations we'd have to do, et cetera. But the bigger the district gets and more classrooms you add, we're going to have staff to teach the kids.
Great. Mike, do you have anything for tonight?
Yeah, just a quick comment, if I might. Just from the Denville Education Foundation, they had a successful complimentary free outdoor movie night. I think it was September 15th, just right after our last meeting. So appreciate them sponsoring that. They had a really good turnout. Everybody seemed to have a really good time. And just as a reminder, they've got their golf outing coming up on October 16th. That's a Monday. We do not have a meeting, so hopefully you guys can all attend. I'll send out the information if you'd like to either golf, or there's a dinner that includes a tricky tray and live auction. And then finally for them on October 12th, which is a Thursday prior to the golf outing on the 16th, they're doing kind of a kickoff party over at Diamond Spring Brewing Company. So more information on that to come, and I'll send it out when they get it. But obviously everyone is invited to those 2 upcoming events for an organization that certainly helps out the district quite a bit.
Great, thanks, Mike. All right, anyone else? Okay. Board highlights. Usually Steve takes this on and usually has a few suggestions. Anyone have any suggestions for tonight's highlight items?
The donation from the social services, they have been very generous throughout the year, especially this coming year with the lunches increases.
Sounds good. That's one.
Maybe be the change presentation for Valley View students.
Sounds good. Got 2. We don't have to have a third, but if anyone has any other suggestions, we can go with 2 or.
Well, the World Dance residency is probably a nice one to add to.
Sounds good. Okay. We got 3. Dr. Cullis, is that good with you?
Yes, there are a couple other items, but we did it last week, so, or
Okay.
last meeting, so that sounds good.
Okay, great. Okay, if nothing else, we're going to move on to our second public comment portion of the evening. This one is usually a little more open to any issues germane to the district at all. Same rules apply as earlier. They are outlined in the agenda. If you're in the chamber and would like to speak, you just have to approach the microphone and give your name and address for the record. And I'm going to open up for public comment at 8:04 PM. I do want to welcome, he by no means has to speak tonight, but I do want to welcome Patrick Bager. He is running for town council, I believe. So I invited him to come check it. If you'd like to, please. Yeah, we'd be happy to.
There it is. All right. I'm Patrick Beeger. Like Dino said, he invited me to come by. I didn't know if I was allowed to talk about that during the public comment. That's why I didn't immediately jump up, being the only person in the room. But just wanted to introduce myself. I'm running for town council this year. My wife is expecting our first child, so we're not going to be in the system as far as school system goes for a little bit now, but definitely interested in how things are going in the schools and what we could do better from a town perspective, especially if I were to get elected. I want to make sure that you guys know who I am and that you have the ability to ask me questions. So pleasure to meet you all, and thanks for the invite.
Thanks for coming up. All right, not seeing anyone else. We're going to go ahead and close the public comment section at 8:06 PM. Dr. Cullis, do we have need for an executive session tonight?
We do.
Okay. For
Student discussion?
student, okay. Mr. Kim, can I ask you to move us into executive?
Sure, I move to convene an executive session in accordance with Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act. The purpose of this closed session will be to discuss student matters. Minutes of this session will be made available to the public when need for confidentiality no longer exists.
I'll second. All in favor? Mentions? Okay, we are in executive as of 8:07 PM. And as a note, we do not anticipate taking any actions afterwards. Thank you very much for coming tonight.